This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's going on? Today is Friday. Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Got Grande and the Brown Man in the house, and we're ready to roll on a Friday. Just a reminder for everybody, if you're making plans this weekend, 7 Mile Casino is ready to welcome you in. I'll just say this, you say to your wife or your girlfriend, hey, let's go to 7 Mile Casino. And they go, oh, really? What's going on there? And you say, well, we're going to have dinner at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar. Food is fantastic. Good, nice drinks, right? Then we're going to get done, and we're going to go over and play a little blackjack. And in the casino, there's no smoking, so it's beautiful. It's fresh air. It's clean. It's colorful. It's bright. It's fantastic. You're going to have a great time. 7 Mile Casino, only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. And if you're headed towards a baseball game this weekend, all the more reason to come on down to 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. All right, Grande, Brown Man, it is Friday afternoon. And today, outside of the show, we have a little quality time we're going to spend together because we're headed to Callaway Golf in Carlsbad for the first of our decathlon competitions, the long drive competition between me and Browner. It is on today from the test center at Callaway Golf. Brown, you said you were going to be doing a bunch of practicing. How you feeling about our long drive competition?
Fantastic. Ready to swing. Ready to swing, baby.
Does Callaway have 6'7" golf clubs?
I mean, the place that I was at yesterday didn't. So again,
Right,
I don't own any golf clubs. So
I'm assuming since we're going to the test center, they've tested clubs for people that are tall.
Yeah, because the test center is where like all the celebrities go. And I say celebrities, whether they're pro golfers or if they are, just could be sports celebrities, could be Hollywood celebrities, whatever. This is where they accommodate VIPs. So I'm sure that over the years, there have been plenty of basketball player type guys.
Is Charles Barkley a Callaway guy?
Don't know.
6'4".
Don't know.
6'4".
But I do know this about Charles Barkley. He's a TNT guy. He's not a Live Golf Tour guy.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody was waiting on Charles Barkley. Thursday was his deadline. And kind of weird because Barkley had been very open about talking about this, about the possibility of going to the Live Tour. And apparently, at least what I've been reading, there never was a really solid offer. Like, again, just reading, Barkley met with Greg Norman, the CEO of the Live Tour, and said, according to Barkley, hey, let's make this a win-win for everybody. But an offer apparently never was made. And so Barkley has said, it's not fair to TNT. I got to cut this thing off. And I'm going back to TNT. Basketball and TNT, those two things are what have made me a star. So I'm staying home. He's doing a Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
Which part are you buying?
Any of it. That man would have ran so fast up that hill if they would have given him some money. The problem is they didn't give him enough.
Yep. Or I think that's what it was.
Yeah, or he's saying this. You ready? Yeah, I'm going to stay with TNT. I'm just going to stay with TNT. And then by saying it publicly, the Live Tour doesn't get their man. And then all of a sudden they come back with a whole lot more money. And then if Barkley were to leave, he goes, well, what happened was I was planning on staying with TNT in basketball, but then they upped the price. And so,
or it also could be like, hey, here's Chuck, here's about, I don't know, 500,000, $1 million. Let's have some fun with a little PR stunt. Come play at our golf tournament. We'll give you like $1 million. We're just going to throw it out there that you're going to join, and more people will start talking about Live. A little more attention to our way.
Wouldn't surprise me.
That part, I don't think that was necessary. I think it was a legit. I think it was legit discussion. I just don't think that they valued him at the number that he valued himself at to do the job. I agree with what you said earlier, that they met with him. They were interested. Just the money he wanted was not something that they were in agreement with.
Well, I'm willing to bet he didn't go to this golf tournament yesterday and golf for free.
Well, of course not. Appearance fee.
So, right. That's kind of what I'm saying. I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was he didn't get the offer he thought he was going to get, number one. And then also, hey, we're just going to give you some money to come participate, but we want you to talk. We'll give you more money if you talk about us on all the platforms that you got.
See, to me, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Chuck goes to this golf course, this Trump golf course, where Trump is golfing. And I would have thought that Barkley would have been the kind of guy that would be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be affiliated with this. So I think we all kind of understand that everybody got their price. So I'm with you guys. I expect that Barkley was paid to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I like your conspiracy theory idea that he was paid even more money to help publicize this and talk about it publicly. The interesting part for me is that they've been able to buy almost everybody they've wanted to buy.
Almost.
Other than Tiger Woods, I don't know how many people have publicly said that they've said no to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we talked to Charlie Hoffman a few weeks ago, Charlie Hoffman didn't say, yeah, they offered me a lot of money and I chose not to go. The intimation I received was they never offered.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they did, I wouldn't go, but they haven't. And you don't know if you will or you won't until they actually make an offer.
Right.
So if just hypothetically, they said to Barkley, we'll pay you $25 million a year for the next 3 years. And Barkley said, nah, I don't think so. Now, if it was 35, I'd do it. You mean to tell me that these guys who print money would not go get their man over that chump change?
Right.
You should see what they're building. You should see what
they're
building. They're building a $1 trillion city.
Now, when you say they, are you talking about the LIV Tour?
Saudis. No, no. The people who are paying for the LIV Tour.
Oh. I didn't know if the LIV Tour was building a $1 trillion city. We're going to move all of our golfers there, their families there. It's going to be a golf utopia.
Look it up. It's going to be like something from like Total Recall. Not the bad part either. The good part.
All these utopian cities will never happen.
This one will.
This one will not. Where are people going to work?
In the buildings. Like it's going to be a city. It's going to be the city.
I know, but like people need jobs to. I see what you're talking about. It's like a 100-mile city that's like 600 yards wide, and it's made of glass, and it's like this like ridiculously looking, like it looks dope. It looks like it's part of a James Cameron Avatar movie, but at the same time, my point being is, where are these people? Where are you going to get 90 million people to come and live in this city if they have nowhere to work?
Bruh, you know what they say. If you build it, they will come.
Some will. Like, of course, like Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all these places have built man-made islands. And people go. But there's
on Dubai. Go ahead.
90 million people is a lot of people to fill. That's all I'm saying.
I saw a thing.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's
Dubai
what they
was
want to do.
nothing. Dubai was nothing. Nothing. Look at it now. Vegas was nothing. Look at Vegas
like, what
now.
is the population of Dubai? I don't know.
I mean,
are all those cool like palm tree houses? Aren't they all empty?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just talked to a guy the other day who lives in England, and his brother apparently lives in Dubai, and he's been going back and forth between England and Dubai. He's like, you just have never seen anything like it.
Right.
See?
Never experienced anything like it. So wait, what is this town? Explain this to me, because I feel like you guys know what you're talking about. I don't, and I'm guessing everybody who's watching doesn't know. No, tell me.
Pull it up.
All right, let me hear about this.
Is it Saudi Arabia?
Pure futuristic. They only ones got the money to do this. Of course, it's them.
I will say one thing about Barkley though, and just back to what Alex was saying about Barkley being paid to publicize the possibility of him going to the LIV Tour. One of the things that he did this whole time is he said to everybody, "What's your big problem with their money?" Like, let me ask everybody a question. Was everybody in America so aware and therefore so offended that the Saudi government essentially kidnapped a Washington Post reporter and chopped him up into a million pieces and took him out in a bag? Like it's a terrible thing that happened to that guy, and a terrible thing for the people who loved him and worked with him and knew him. That was a horrible thing. The guy was murdered. He was murdered by their government, apparently, because they didn't like what he was writing about him. And life went on, sadly. Everybody just went back to their lives. So are people so offended by this murder that they have said, I will never watch a Saudi-backed golf event, and I'm pissed off at Phil Mickelson, and I think Bubba Watson's a piece of crap, and all these other guys. Like, the one thing I'm trying to say is that what Barkley did over the course of the last week or so is he pretty much said to everybody, I will take their money. I don't care. People say, hey, the NBA's in business with China. The United States is in a business relationship with these other countries. Do we, as Americans, do we hate and boycott the Saudi Arabians? Like right now, we're boycotting everything Russian. McDonald's pulled out and all these other companies pulled out of Russia. They're bad guys and they're bullies. And what they're doing to not one person, but they're doing to an entire country makes us as Americans say, hey, Russia, we're not cool with you guys anymore. But with Saudi Arabia or with China, no matter what's going on in their countries and no matter what they've done that we even know about, does that make 95% of America go, I will never have anything to do with Saudi Arabians? They can't buy me. I don't know, man. Barkley, I think this past week, I think
Phil's big fat mouth just was like escalated the entire thing. I think if he didn't say that one quote, that these guys are terrifying and all this other stuff, if he never said that publicly, it would have just gone over so much more smooth for him. He's the one guy.
I disagree. I think the narrative by the PGA created this. Oh, look at what they've done. Look how bad of people they are. I think the PGA took part in using what they could.
Well, they capitalized on what Phil said.
I mean, Phil
ruined it for everybody.
Phil's commentary about they're a bunch of scary mother effers, and we know about their human rights violations, but they got a lot of money, and I'm going, so screw you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Phil said, and Phil has been now vilified. Phil is public enemy number one to the PGA Tour, and so
let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Has there been backlash against Brooks Koepka? Has there been backlash against Bryson DeChambeau? Has there been massive backlash against Dustin Johnson?
Well, the first person always gets it the worst.
He wasn't the first person. He got it the worst because he was the marquee person and he opened his big fat mouth.
Right. The person.
But if he wouldn't have opened his big fat mouth, and they're like, "Hey, we got Brooks, we got DJ, we got this, we got that," everybody like, "Damn, what's going on over there?" But no, he had to go and open his big fat mouth. Dude, you know how many guys have played dumb in all these press conferences, and you just don't even hear about it? Like, there's guys on this tour that get asked about it. They get asked about it almost every week now, and they're just like, "Dude, I'm a golfer, man. I'm just here to play golf." And they move on.
If you would have had a joint press conference with all these guys at one table, all answering questions at the same time, none of it wouldn't have been an issue if he would or if he wouldn't have said that. The first person of major notoriety gets the most backlash. Period. That's just how it works.
But
LeBron does something and everyone makes a big deal out of it. Carmelo Anthony does something, nobody talks about it.
But my point is,
yeah, well, that's the point, though. I think is that Phil is not only was he the first, not only did he open his fat mouth, but Phil is by far and away the most famous of all of these guys.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
mentioned Brooks Koepka, and but he's the most famous, and he's also a guy who always has strong opinions that alienate 50% of the people.
And it coincided with this tell-all book that was anticlimactic, so it was like it was like a little storm all headed Phil's way. But
this all started, just so you guys know, this whole conversation about Barkley and Mickelson and the Live Tour all started because we were saying that we're going to Callaway Golf this afternoon for part one in a 10-part series, a decathlon between me and Browner. Now,
Browner, you bring your drone?
Oh, that's a good idea. Browner, you going to bring your drone today?
I can.
You got a tripod for a phone?
I got to plug that joint in. Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, let's bring a tripod for a phone. We'll just have one stationary. I'll be moving around. Lawhead will be narrating the thing, and then maybe you show me how to stabilize your drone and just keep it on a shot or something. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I like that idea. I like you got to plug that joint in.
Plug that joint in.
Really? So like when you don't want to call an item the actual name of the item, do you just refer to everything as that joint? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? So like it was like, hey man, I
It's
gotta
like
go.
that thing.
I gotta go restart my joint, like my computer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
can somebody turn off the joint, like the TV?
No. That joint.
Oh, that joint. Can
Like if
somebody
my
turn
car
off
won't,
that
like
joint?
if my car won't start, man, that junk won't start up.
Yeah, it's not the
Oh,
joint. It's never the joint. It's that.
That joint?
Yes.
That joint.
Yes. Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Predictions. It's a long drive competition. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming. I think like the fairest thing to do would be to take an average.
Okay.
Because we could go like, hey, you get 20 drives and the longest wins. You guys want to do that?
Okay.
Or you guys want to do, let's take 20 drives and we'll take the average, and then whoever has the highest average is the winner. I think anybody can get lucky on one swing.
I don't know what the scoring situation is with Callaway. I mean, I have no idea if they can tell us on the range, hey, that one was 230 yards, that one was 270 yards. I don't know
Are we not
the
going
answer to
into
that
like
until
a
we get
Top
there.
Golf-ish place? You don't think?
No.
I'm saying you don't
here's
think
the
they have
thing.
trackers?
You probably hit it against that
I
screen.
don't know.
Like at the
Well,
golf
no,
store.
no, but we're not doing a simulator. We're
Doing it
actually
outside.
outside on a driving range.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, I was explaining to my girlfriend this morning about what's going on. She's like, wait, what are you doing? I'm like, we're all going up to Callaway Golf today. And she said, and why are you doing this? I said, because me and Browner are entangled now in a 10 event decathlon.
Macho
And
off.
she said, say it again.
In a macho off.
It is. It's a macho off. It is. It's who's manly.
Putting their
Who's
junk on the table.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big
Well, we're
time.
not doing that because the
Oh,
competition.
yes, we are.
Well, I think I'm going to lose that one.
We're throwing our athletic feats on the table.
Yeah, because if we throw our junk on the table, I don't feel strongly about my chances.
He's lost.
So here's the
I would
thing.
have lapped him.
Right. So I was saying to Rachel, I was like, yeah, this is competition number 1 of 10. She said, well, what are the other competitions? And I was explaining to her, I'm like, well, we're going to be doing swimming. And she laughed. She goes, wait, you're going to swim? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, you're laughing at me. Shouldn't you be laughing at Browner? Browner can't swim. Right. So I'm like, we're going to swim, which I'm going to win. We're going to shoot free throws, which I'm probably going to win. We're going to kick field goals, which I'm probably going to win. Then we're going to do a 100-meter dash, which I'm probably going to lose. Probably not going to win that one.
Because the kid took you out.
Because of my injured knee. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if I were fully healthy, I feel like I'd win that. Ping pong competition, I feel like very strong.
Browner's already conceded that. We should just
pretty much.
We shouldn't even play that one. Just
right.
L.
We're going to because you got to play the games.
Right. There's tennis. I think is there real tennis or is there just
real
table
tennis?
Real tennis. So I think I've got 6 or 7 of the 10 competitions. What else do we have, Alex? Do you recall? I know you have a list somewhere.
Yeah, I have a list somewhere, but
it's Friday.
No, I just don't have it pulled up.
Wearing a baseball hat. Yeah. So look,
penalty kicks.
Oh, penalty kicks on soccer.
And then the boxing machine.
Yeah, so I got to the boxing machine, right? So I said to Rachel, I go, yeah, so really the last competition was supposed to be me and Browner in a boxing match. And she went, whoa, hold on. You and Browner are going to be in a boxing match? I'm like, well, we were, but we've decided now that we're going to do
you back out of that.
So like, how we had this conversation about having people at some of these. I think
the boxing match would have been perfect.
No, I still think that 100% the final event, nobody will know the score, whatever. We invite everybody to the Kraken and get loud as hell, and we do the boxing machine at the Kraken. That's the final thing, and anybody can come. Anybody can boo you guys, cheer you guys.
Okay,
and that's where we finish.
That's the final competition. Yeah. Okay, Brown, you down?
Yeah, man. Yeah, sure.
Is Brown down? Down for Brown.
Yeah.
Gonna backhand that thing.
Dude, Browner sucker punched that machine last time.
So today, predictions, longest drive. Browner, what you got? How far are you going?
So I have no idea. Zero. I can only tell you I will take the best swings that I can.
When you went practicing yesterday, do you think that you got it above 150 yards, 200 yards?
I don't know.
I mean, you didn't go to a driving range with like markers?
I went to the one off of
Let me ask you, how about
15 right by Qualcomm.
Did you get it in the air?
Yeah, but it was low. My velo wasn't great.
This is gonna be embarrassing.
This is gonna be a waste of my time today. Seriously, this is a complete waste of my time. I'll wind up beating him left-handed.
I should maybe step in for Browner today.
And I legitimately think I can beat him if I shoot lefty. If I hit the ball lefty.
Maybe I'm just,
Maybe you are.
Maybe he's Woody Harrelson you.
Maybe.
Billy.
Maybe. Maybe this is White Man Can't Jump.
Scott, what do you think? What are you at? Maybe. You at 250?
Yeah, I think I can
Black Man Can't Drive.
At Top Golf last week, I think I hit it out of the fence.
Really?
No.
How far?
No, I'm just kidding. If on a good day with Callaway's clubs, I get 275.
All right. Well, listen, competition number 1 of 10 happens today at Callaway Golf. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. It is a Friday afternoon. We got a lot we want to get to. I'm not even sure where I want to start. Do I want to get into Will Smith's apology to Chris Rock?
No.
I'm not sure.
No. I didn't even know that was the thing that happened.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Get that out of here.
Good. I also want to get to, I'm glad you guys said that. I also want to get to our man, Tommy, who's out on the streets doing things for us. We'll get there. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch the Orange County SC take on your San Diego Loyal Saturday, July 30th at 7 p.m. Support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Orange County SC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Yo, 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 what's going on? It's Friday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Now, I can see that Browner is no longer sitting at his microphone at this moment because I do believe he's plugging in that joint. Oh, here he is. Now he's back. Oh, you going to plug in that joint? What you going to do with that joint?
Plug the joint in right now.
You plugging that joint in?
Yeah.
All right. So now Browner has got his joint plugged in, and today when we go to Callaway Golf, we're going to have drone shots overhead. This is awesome. This is going to be great. So Alex, does your fiance know? Because like I was saying that I had to tell Rachel all about this whole decathlon. Does everybody know what's going on in your world here?
I was telling her about it last night. She was like cracking up. She's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Well, Browner and Scott, they just wanted to, measure, And she was just laughing. She was the one that gave me the idea about having people at the place where you guys do the boxing thing, because that's like the easiest one to pull off.
Right.
You just put a couple dollars in a machine and you just get it done. And
well, that is also the easiest place to get people to come. Like when Joe Rigby says, "Hey, dude, you guys should have people come to the different athletic competitions." The only issue with that is that we're going to do the golf today. Then I believe the swimming, running, free throw shooting, field goal kicking, soccer kicking, tennis. It's all these things are going to happen literally in a day. We're going to have a 1-day decathlon. So then we'll have golf as one. We'll do these other 8 events in one day. And then the final event, before we unleash it for everybody as to see who actually won, the final event will take place at the Kraken. We'll tell everybody a day and a time, and then we'll show up and we'll have a big crowd of people cheering us on. I got to start practicing that. Because Browner didn't practice.
You were so embarrassed to do it last time. I can't believe it. So Browner like sucker punched the machine and beat everybody's score. So now I'm with his left hand. And so now I'm worried. You know what we didn't put into this competition, which we should have put in? Arm wrestling. Would you be willing to trade out one competition for an arm wrestling competition?
Ping pong.
You would give up ping pong for arm wrestling?
Yeah.
I would give up actual tennis. Would you trade actual tennis?
That's going to be the worst video.
Well, okay, let's do this.
Tennis will be the worst video because both of you guys consolidate.
Let's come to a middle ground understanding. You want to eliminate tennis?
Mm-hmm.
I will eliminate ping pong, and we will consolidate those two into one thing. That one thing will be arm wrestling.
No, but then it's not a decathlon.
No, here's what you do. You scrap tennis, you scrap ping pong, you add arm wrestling, and the way you combine tennis and ping pong, beer pong.
Oh.
Fair.
Oh. I was thinking pickleball.
What are you, 90?
No, a lot of people play pickleball.
You just insulted Senor Charles Kaplan.
So it's like, listen, Pops. I know Pops is world tour right now. All right? He the Phil Mickelson of pickleball.
Damn, he's going to the Live Tour?
Yeah, he's going to the Live Tour pickleball. He'll take them Saudis' money. I met your Pops before.
Yeah, he don't care.
Yeah, he don't care at all. He'll take the Saudis' money in coins if you need to.
All day, every day.
Mm-hmm. Shout
take
out.
It in oil. Yeah.
You know the value of $1.
You know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. We can do that at the Kraken too. You know people up in there. We can have
arm wrestling,
the arm wrestling, the beer pong, and the grand finale.
There's no billiards. We took billiards out too.
Yeah. Oh, we did. That's right. Maybe we should add billiards because Browner should feel good about his pool game.
Listen, I've already demonstrated that I can take you out in that.
Right,
so
but that's true. You have demonstrated it, so therefore you should want to add it in.
Again. We have come to an agreement. Okay. The Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate have come to a bipartisan agreement of what we have eliminated and what we will go forward with. We are not reintroducing anything else into the deal.
Whatever it is you want to do, I'm in. I'm in for all of it. Today it gets started. Callaway Golf Test Center, long drive competition coming up soon here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do all the other events, free throw shooting, field goal kicking, soccer shots, and all these other events. We're going to get it all shot, get it all done, and then we're going to finish it off at the Kraken with that boxing bag machine. And then we're going to take the 10-part series, we'll release it, and then we'll find out who is the real man of the two of us, who has more skills, who can plug in that joint. That's right. We'll find out. The decathlon between the Brown Man and LA Cap. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get going here because we got a lot to get to on today's show. I will start off by saying this. It is Friday afternoon. Just a reminder to everybody about our friends at West Coast BBQ Shop, westcoastbbqshop.com. And the reminder is to follow them on Instagram at westcoast.bbq because on their Instagram account, you can find out cooking recipes, all about the hardware that they sell in the store, the small stuff that you might need in the store, thermometers, cooking gloves, spatulas, spices, sauces. You need it, they got it, because anything having to do with the grilling season, that's West Coast BBQ Shop, westcoastbbqshop.com. It's going to be sunny out tonight. The sun's going to set at like 7:50, and you're still going to get sunlight or daylight till about 8:30. You're going to be outside working your grill. Anything you need for the grilling season, you come on down and see Brian Bushfield and his family, West Coast BBQ Shop. That's westcoastbbqshop.com. All right, fellas, do we want to start with the Padres going into this weekend and the rumors around the trades that they may make? Do you want to start Padres, which, by the way, will lead us down the road of baseball because now that this whole Mike Trout situation is happening with the Angels, a lot of speculation about the Angels trading Ohtani. We've been talking a lot about Juan Soto being traded and how much teams are going to have to give up for Juan Soto. I'll just ask this question. Do you have to give up more to get Juan Soto, or do you have to give up more to get Ohtani?
Probably Ohtani because of the I would say Ohtani because of the mystique around the person, the best player in baseball, the can pitch, can hit, the advertising that you could put behind it. Like if the Yankees were to get Ohtani, it would be a monster story. I actually think the fact that they have quote unquote made him available or they're listening to offers helps the Padres get Soto. Because now if that discussion is real, him being on the market, now there's another player out there that could drive the attention away and probably not lower the price, but have the Nats come more to a settlement if they're going to do it, which they don't have to.
So things change all the time. It's up like rumors everywhere. Now the latest rumor is that the Nationals are going to make one more offer to Juan Soto before they trade him. And if he declines it, then they'll try and trade him before the deadline. So that's the latest with Soto today, that the Nationals supposedly are going to make another multi-year, multi-$100 million offer and see what he says. I would say that Ohtani's probably a little less expensive. When I mean little, I mean like maybe just four players instead of 5 players, just because he's only under control for 1 year after this. So I think that's going to make a big difference. I mean, it's a whole year. So
if you were the Yankees, though, just if you were the Yankees and you had your choice, you're like, hey, we can have either one of them. We can have Ohtani or we can have Soto. We can add one of these two guys to our lineup. Which one would you rather have?
Oh, if I'm the Yankees?
Yeah.
No brainer. Ohtani.
If I'm any one of any of the teams in baseball,
or the Dodgers,
the answer is Ohtani.
Yeah,
for everybody.
I will say this: wouldn't it be amazing? Could you guys imagine this? Think about this: Ohtani gets traded from the Angels to the Dodgers, and the Padres actually do acquire Juan Soto.
Oh man!
Could you imagine the excitement and electricity of the first place team? Essentially, yet again, taking off little baby brother's hands, something that they really ultimately can't afford. And even if they could, it don't mean anything anyway, because they don't win, So the Dodgers essentially give up so much of their prospects in their farm
all the time.
Well, and they've got it. So the Dodgers say to the Angels, hey, you guys are in a desperate spot. We all get it. We've got all these prospects. You can build with these 5 or 6 guys, theoretically. We'll take Ohtani off your hands because not only do we want Ohtani to pitch for us, because my goodness, Ohtani with the Dodgers pitching staff, which, looks like it's going to eventually get Dustin May back and looks like it's going to get Walker Buehler back. You add Ohtani to that mix, then throw his bat into that lineup, the Dodgers become that much better, which is exciting because if the Padres in this dream acquire Juan Soto and they get Tatis back, now you've got these two high-powered teams in the same division where one fan base hates the other and the other fan base barely pays attention to the other. But all of a sudden, two massive moves, the two biggest moves on the trade block. If those two things happened in the same division between these two teams, how dope would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I would swap it if it was my choice. If we had a choice, I would swap. I would take Ohtani over Soto, and still, I still think the argument remains the same, regardless of who the Dodgers get. And if like in your scenario, I think you could easily swap, and the story stays the same. But I just think if I had a choice, I would take Ohtani because he also provides another arm, which I think this Padres staff is going to need. But
are the Padres in trouble though in terms of the trade possibilities because now Mackenzie Gore, the story is that Mackenzie Gore could potentially be shut down for the year. Now, whether it's true or false, it's out there.
False. If I'm the Padres, I'm telling people, whoever said that they're lying, they don't know. They don't. Who? I would be, if I were Preller, I would be on TV.
But what does it matter?
Radio going, who said that? That's a lie.
But what does it
put
matter?
him on the injured list anyway, so he's injured through the deadline, so it doesn't really matter if he's out for the year or not. At the moment, he's on the injured list through the deadline.
And so whoever's going to trade for him, whoever trades for him is going to look underneath the hood.
Yeah. Of course, they should. But at the same time, I want you to have the parameters of the deal set up. So technically, to my fan base, it looks like, hey, man, we had a deal in place. They pulled out of it.
They should have shut him down when they had a 1-3 ERA. Like, hey, we're good.
Yeah. Hey, we've seen enough out of you.
Good showcase.
We've seen enough out of you. We got enough out of you here for the first year. We're going to put you over here on the shelf.
And here's why I say it doesn't matter if Gore is out for the year or not. He's proven the last 6 weeks that you probably needed another starter anyways. He seemed like he was running out of gas. His stuff was getting blasted all over the field. Like, so it didn't really matter if he's hurt or not. I just think that unless Nick Martinez comes back to the starting rotation, or you're really going to count on Clevenger finishing off the year, which I think everybody's hoping. I still think that the Padres, listen, Ohtani is a bright, shiny object. Soto is a bright, shiny. I would love those guys. I think you do anything to get those guys. But if you're really looking at depth, the Padres need a lot. Starting pitcher is one of them. Reliever is another.
But that's the thing. You know, I hadn't really given it much thought because everything was Soto to the Padres, and that's been the big hot rumor. But if you're the Padres and if you're AJ Preller and you literally want to shock the world, could you imagine going out and getting Ohtani? Now, your point is well made, Alex, that he only has one more year of control. But if the Padres shocked the world and went out and scored Ohtani and said, we just added a starting pitcher, needed it, and we just added a power bat, needed that too, you get 2 for 1 with Ohtani. But the only issue is you only have this year and next year. And then the likelihood of the Padres being able to afford Ohtani or being willing to pay Ohtani, let's just say it's going to turn into a $50 million a year deal, 10 years, $500 million. Will the Padres ultimately do that?
I think that the Padres were in on, I think I genuinely believe that if the Padres had a DH, there's a really good chance that Ohtani would have been a Padre already. I think that was all the reporting back then. So I think that if you're the Padres and you're going to make this move for Ohtani, you have to figure out a way to give him whatever it is that he wants. Like, you just have to. I think that this is a 2-part trade. And especially if you're going to give up 4 to 5 of your best prospects, you don't, in this, the way this farm system's set up right now, where you're ranked 21st, you really got to be smart about who you give them up for. And I think that 2.5 years of Soto is great. 1.5 years of Ohtani is great. But with Ohtani, you got to figure out a way, because Ohtani pays for himself, just like Tatis. Like the amount of marketing that you do with Ohtani and Tatis, they can pay for themselves almost.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's how, obviously I don't know the details of how it would work, but you have to figure out a way, if you get Ohtani, to keep Ohtani here for the long
run. It's all just theoretical, but the reason we're having this conversation for everybody that's joining us right now, and maybe, you know, you're listening on the radio and you just tuned in, you're like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Is Ohtani on the Padres? Is that something that people are talking about? Not really. What everybody's been talking about is the Padres trading for Juan Soto. But the reason we bring it up is because now given the Mike Trout situation in Anaheim, the Angels aren't going to be able to trade him. Who is going to trade for a $400 million contract, whatever it has left on? I think you said yesterday, Alex, 9 years, for a guy who's got some sort of rare spine condition.
300 million left.
Yeah. So the thing is that it seems like the Angels are, I'm going to say it like this, screwed into keeping Trout. But if they ever want to win with Trout, the way they can build their organization with bodies is to possibly trade Ohtani. And Ohtani has said over and over again how much he wants to win. And who knows if the Angels are willing to, capable of paying the guy to keep him in Anaheim, where all he has to do is look at the club's history and go, doesn't matter who they have, doesn't matter how much money they spend, they can't win.
Because if they don't trade Ohtani, they're probably going to trade Syndergaard. They're probably going to trade other guys on that team, and they're probably going to get worse regardless. Ohtani's not going to re-sign with the Angels. Like, unless they give him $1 billion. I don't think he's going to re-sign with the Angels. I just think he's I mean, look what he said like yesterday. He's already non-committal about this entire situation.
Read what Ohtani said.
Regardless of where I'm playing, I want to give it my all. Try to win the ball game that's right in front of me. I'm with the Angels right now, and I'm very thankful for what they've done. I really love the team. I love my teammates. Right now, I'm an Angel, and that's all I can really focus on at this point.
Right now.
Emphasis mine.
Say it right now twice. That's not good when you say it right now.
So when you,
I just think the Angels are going to get worse because they are not a contender. So they're going to trade the piece. Like Syndergaard is owed, I believe, like $14 million. So they're going to trade guys like that have some value, and they're going to get worse. And Ohtani's going to be miserable, and he's going to have magnificent outings, like maybe not magnificent, but very good outings like yesterday, and lose because the Angels gave him 0 runs. So I don't see him resigning in Anaheim. So I think the Angels would be smart. Like if the Padres were terrible too, if the Padres were 20 games under 500, I would probably be saying the same things about Machado, honestly.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, you want to win. And how do you build a winner? You use
rebuild
what you have. Right. You use what you have to rebuild. It goes on every sport. In the NFL, they do it with draft picks. In the NBA, they try to do it with draft picks and trades. In baseball, you usually do it with trades from minor league prospects. Yeah. Nobody uses the draft only to rebuild your team. Everybody goes and then you trade the big guy you have for a bunch of pieces in someone's farm system around the trade deadline. So I'm with you. I'd be like, trade Machado. I'd be like, trade Tatis. Whatever you
can. If you're 20 games under 500 and you got those two guys and everybody else stinks, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, one person doesn't matter.
But the Padres are in a completely but they're in a completely different situation, the Padres.
Who would you guys rather have?
Soto.
If I had the choice, no, I'd much rather have Ohtani.
I don't even
much rather have Ohtani. Yeah.
You asked me a question.
I
know.
Answer.
I'm not. I don't disagree with your opinion. That's your opinion. I think that you do want Soto. I just think I would much rather have Ohtani because of what.
So would I. I mean, you get two players for one. You get a guy who immediately is the best pitcher on your staff, and you get a guy who's likely the best hitter on your team.
That's interesting you say that because I did this graphic. So pitching 9-7, ERA 2.81, Ks 145, WAR Browner 3.1, hitting 254, 21 home runs, 59 RBIs, WAR 1.8. So if Ohtani was a Padre, he would lead the Padres in home runs, RBIs, wins, strikeouts, and WAR. He would be their best player.
You get two players for one if you could get Ohtani. Two players for one.
He'd have the most wins, the most strikeouts. He would have the second best ERA on the staff behind Musgrove. He would have the most home runs. He would have the most RBIs in a position of need, which is DH power.
For all the talk, for all the talk about Soto, remember when AJ Preller went out and got Bob Melvin when no one even knew Bob Melvin was an available manager from the A's because he was under contract. If you can go behind everybody's back and find Bob Melvin, keep talking about Juan Soto, but behind everybody's back, go do a deal with the Angels. Go get Ohtani.
If the price is your top 4 prospects, which is the report, bye.
See ya. No problem.
Easy.
No problem at all.
I'll throw the fifth one in just for kicks.
I tweeted that this morning. I was like, take the 5th, take 5, and say thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
See you later.
Here you go.
See you later, everybody.
I throw the 5th one in just in case.
Yep. Hey, a quick mention here is we have a little shorter show on Fridays. You guys know it's Football Friday on 1090. So Ryan Dyrud and the LA Football Network take over at 5. So I want to make some mentions here. I want to tell everybody that if this weekend you're contemplating looking at any real estate, you got to call Gary Cooper, 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. We all saw what happened last year when Gary took Alex and his fiance Mar in the height of the craziness of the housing market, and place after place, offer after offer, couldn't find it, couldn't get it done. Everybody was battling it out and competing for these places. Things have changed in the market in a big way. So the buyer now seems to have a little bit more control because there's still inventory, but there aren't as many buyers because rates have gone up, et cetera. You know the story. So you want to talk to a professional when it comes to this industry. That's Gary Cooper, who's helped thousands of great friends over the course of 20 years. 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. He asks just one question. Can I earn your business? That's all. Just give me a shot. So talk to Gary, 858-376-1299. All right, coming up, our man on the streets, Tommy, sends me videos every day of places that he goes and the ways that he reps the show. Today, I've decided we're going to put one of these videos on the air. That's coming up next. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. This is Kaplan and Crew.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westfield High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight presents Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, this is Pete Gray with this week's Fish Report, and I just returned from a fantastic trip to Katmai Lodge in Bristol Bay, Alaska. I've been there several times, and it is never stops being just an unbelievable trip. We did have some inclement weather. You know what they say in Alaska. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute. Well, we had plenty of rain and wind and cold, but it didn't stop the great fishing. Record numbers of sockeye salmon returned to Bristol Bay this year, 85 million fish, and we caught a bunch of them. We didn't catch 85 million, but we caught a lot of fish and plenty, all we wanted. We also caught a lot of chunk salmon and a lot of big king salmon in the group too, and some trout. Trout fishing was a little slower than normal, but it was still fantastic. Katmai.com, Katmii.com. Fantastic bear viewing, moose viewing, everything else. You would just love this place. Go do a trip there. And if you want to hear more about it, tune into Let's Talk Hookup this Saturday and Sunday, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Let's Talk Hookup airs on the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090. Not going to see it on our YouTube channel. Not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it from what I understand and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmen, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Cougars team taking on